Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. We are interrupting our normal scheduled programming because a lot of requests are coming in around Solana. What's going on? People are not on the train. Should they get on the train? Is it too late? Had this yesterday, had this last weekend, had this 2 weeks ago, had it all month. But I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stuff that you need to take into account. Maybe throw a little bit of cold water on the story, but also talk about the future, my future price projections and where I think it could go, and how time is so important. And I keep saying, get in early, get in hard, how that is so critical. Today, we had nearly a $10 candle. Okay, if you're buying at $8, you made 120, 130% real quick like that. And that's the craziness. So this story today is called Solana Soars. Again, it's a story of basically how I was able to identify it so early, the first of any person on YouTube, and what's behind that. We're going to go through all that, but also we're going to talk about some of the news and some of the goodness that's coming out of the space too. And a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being with me. Love you all. And here we are. So let's talk about this. And this is, of course, edutainment. And, you know, there's literally the FUD that was thrown at people like me, everybody, even recently in court cases, you know, did Solana have an off switch, all that type of stuff. You know, certain things that really tend to be good tend to also be very hated as well, whether that be Tesla and Elon Musk or Solana or whatever else. And I get that. And that's a key part of investing. But don't let it sway your decisions. You should always be data-driven. And if you look at the data, everything becomes very clear. Ignore the FUD. There's a reason I don't watch TV or listen to news, that type of stuff. Full disclosure, I do read some newspapers. Anyway, let's go through some of the news real quick. I mean, this Solana thing is everywhere. It's on Forbes, for crying out loud. And they talk about Solana climb more than 80% in under a month. Actually, it's over 100% now, but we're not going to pick that apart. But it's been a substantial performance over the last month. It's getting the attention of traditional media. In this article, they talk about it going to $38. Of course, today we hit 46, and that is a massive, massive rise, especially when they talk about the $8 low back last year as well. Siad, thank you for coming. Let's talk about some of the other stuff. Coingape comes out and says Solana price rally to $40 imminent as asset under management inflows hit 24 million, second only to Bitcoin. Yep, I've been talking about following the money for years and years since I started the channel. Now, everybody's talking about this and showing the same slide I've been showing for years, which is awesome. And it's true. Follow the money. Bitcoin had 90% of inflows last week, and Solana had the rest. That's it. Two names. Only two names matter. And this is always a clear indication of where things are going. That's why I'm blue in the face. I've been saying follow the money. It works. Also, a lot of goodness is coming out of the Breakpoint conference. You have things like Backpack. Solana Backpack is a significant launch for a number of reasons. It's one of the first NFT wallets to launch a regulated cryptocurrency exchange. And that's a major milestone for the NFT and crypto space. And it shows that regulators are taking these industries very serious. Obviously, NFTs are going to be very important. This exchange is licensed in Dubai, which has now become a major financial hub and probably could be the crypto center of the universe as we go forward. And this gives the exchange credibility, etc. Also, the exchange is built on cutting-edge technologies such as multi-party computation and zero-knowledge proof of reserves to make sure all things are done very safely, securely, and transparently as well. And I think the exchange is backed by Coral and a lot of other good stuff, all happening on the Solana blockchain. But there's so much more. Solana institutional investors, we covered that a little bit as well. But this is from the, I think it's called CCD. They looked at the CCD Data's report, which has been picked up by a lot of big institutions. And they're talking about the huge inflow this year of money. Again, more follow the money. This is their report, and it looks at Solana compared to other assets and the growth in assets under management. And you can see that Cosmos is actually number 2, Stacks number 3, Bitcoin number 4. So I don't know exactly what the source is of this, but the important thing is in relative terms, it's probably sort of okay. But look at other names like Cardano, red, LPT, red, Matic, red, BNB, red, Algo, very red. So again, it's a good sign. And in fact, you can nearly overlay this chart to a trading view chart for all these assets. We'll look at a couple of pairs as well in a minute. Again, it's all there in the data. In addition, games is supposed to be a very hot thing for the future. This is Gameshift Labs, another note from Solana Labs that came out during the conference. And they are providing a unified Web 2 friendly API, eliminating the need for deep blockchain experience or even game design experience. It's kind of democratizing the ability for people to create games. And this will allow developers focusing more on the actual game rather than the complexities around blockchain, etc., and rendering stuff as they go forward. And this will allow for the creation of in-game marketplaces as well, where players can list, buy, and trade assets. And it'll also be supported by, I think Solana Pay is behind the scenes and a whole bunch of other stuff. And again, big. Gaming will be big. I think on Saturday, I stressed the importance of finding that 100 million user use case. Once that happens, mark my words, we'll have 1 billion users on one blockchain. And that is the end game. What blockchain can handle that? I think you know the answer. Also, MarketWatch, even MarketWatch are out there saying Solana leads the way as large cryptocurrencies post increases. You know, it's so funny. They have a graphic in MarketWatch, and it doesn't even include a Solana logo. But anyway, they're trying their best. They're catching up. And the point I'm trying to make here is now all of a sudden, ancient, fuddy-duddy, mainstream media, finance rags, they're all talking about Solana. It is truly top of mind. In addition, Raoul was talking about Firedancer as well. And of course, he's listed as the former Goldman Sachs executive. And Raoul has very strong optimism for the future of Solana. He was on with Scott Melker the other day. And of course, it is super critical to watch the advances here. In fact, Firedancer is so important. I took many hours yesterday and I wrote a whole Substack article. It's free for anybody. There'll be a link here or down below and you can read it yourself. But really, it kind of breaks down in simple terms what Firedancer means and how significant it is for the future of crypto on blockchains. And we will see as well if my whole theory that I've been talking about for years, best, cheapest, fastest, most secure, becomes a black hole that everybody goes to. So far, not bad. Messari. Actually, they call it blue ocean. I call it black hole. So we're a little bit different in that regard. But they talked about this actually during the summer of 2023. And kudos to the team there. They talk about how Firedancer may unlock blue ocean customer base in DeFi. And what blue ocean means is just like it sounds. It's everybody. And that's super impressive. I'm not going very fast because I've spoken about a lot of this stuff before, but I just want to kind of bring it all together and tie in some data and quant as well. I did mention yesterday, Firedancer Mainnet Beta Live is up. That is huge. One tile can process 1 million transactions per second. Literally, all you need to do is throw bandwidth at this and more tiles, and you have infinite scalability, which is unthinkable in blockchain right now. It's huge news. Payments, I mentioned as well yesterday, it's a slam dunk. How you can move money for 1/100th of a penny, huge. You know, talk about the unbanked, the whole world. Everybody has a mobile device and they'll be able to pay each other or open up merchant accounts very quickly and easily without having to rely on TradFi. Of course, TradFi, there's about 100 different players all taking a piece. It makes it very expensive. That's all going to go away in the near future. In the next 3 to 5 years, for sure, it will be gone. Also, Solana blockchain nodes can now be developed in AWS. Last year, they alerted this to happen on GCP, Google Cloud Platform. So now both of the biggest kind of, what do they call, cloud providers, slight brain fart there, excuse me, now have capabilities for Solana, which is also very large. In addition, for those who are worried about ESG, I did mention as well, highly efficient. One transaction uses about 0.004 of the energy of an ETH transaction, and you can see some of the other names there too. It's infinitely better than many other transactions as well. So again, it doesn't use a lot of power to run, and therefore it can do things like payments at scale down the line. Now let's look at the chart real quick. Literally today, Solana hit 300% year to date, and that type of move gets a lot of people's attention. Okay. And a lot of people are like, whoa, hold on. And this is why I'm making this video. People are concerned. Hey, Jimmy, how are you? People are concerned that, oh, wow, is it too late? Is it just going to trace back from here? We'll see. But the other thing that's actually part and parcel of this from Santiment is not only just all the media and the news, but social sentiment is growing. And Santiment revealed in an X post that the sentiment from Santiment surrounding Solana, excuse all the S's, is growing extremely bullish, and a huge percentage of the chatter is now around Solana. It's not just my Twitter feed, it's everybody. And we're seeing a lot of fun things happen out there. So let's talk about $50 target. This is now the big chatter. Now that we smashed through $40, the question is $50 the next target? And that's a lot of people are asking, or should they wait for a retracement and buy in later and then go to 50? The answer is yes, it's going to go to 50. No doubt about that. The question is when. We just had a huge rampage of literally massive percentages over the last couple of days, last month, last 3 months, year to date. It's been insane. But I did create a model years ago called the Solana Upside Model, and you can find this model on our website, InvestAnswers.io. It's free. We'll add the link here and in the description below. But the reason I created that model years ago is because I was scratching in my head. I said, based on fundamentals, how come this chain is trading for less than 6% the ETH market cap, trading for less than the market cap of Cardano, trading for less than 10% of the ETH market cap, trading for less than 20%. None of this made any sense to me. So I built a model so people would know exactly at any given point in time of how the market is doing, where Solana could go. And yes, the next step on this model is $52. We'll show that in a little while too. Also, staking works. FTX, a lot of FUD again about FTX, but they staked $122 million worth of Solana per on-chain data per the Block Pro. And that, of course, is extremely bullish. Let's talk about staking for a second as well, because it is a key part of not only my retire on models, but other things too. Just to share some stuff, this is from the Solana Staking website. And obviously, what we see here is the teal line. Thank you, Justin. The teal line is growing. So as the price is rising, more people are staking their Solana because it's lucrative to do. Let me show you some examples of how lucrative. Imagine you staked 10,000 Solana. You are earning basically 2 Solana a day, which is nuts. Let's break this down. That's 30 Solana a month. I know 10,000 Solana is a big bag, but many of you were able to get it cheap at $8. So it's just interesting the important power of staking as we go forward. Now, if you imagine staking 10,000 Solana or 100 Solana, just divide it by whatever factor to get to where you are. If you imagine you staked 10,000 Solana for 3 years, you would have an additional 2,380 Sol. That's basically 24% additional based on the compounding impact. And that is substantial. Now, heaven forbid the VanEck price target, bull target hits in 2030 and you're staking as well and you bought it $8. People thought when I made my retire on models, which are now being copied by everything under the sun, by the way, but I'm the original and the best. But when you look at that, everything becomes feasible too. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Now, getting back to fundamentals, how did we identify Solana in the first place? Well, we have a thing called the Crypto Compendium. It crushes it on the Crypto Compendium score. And it also is first place on the SCP Profiler, which is the Smart Contract Platform Profiler. Nothing comes close. And this looks at scores and scores of variables and creates a composite score. And that's the result. So this, people say, how did you find it? It's through analysis. And last year, our last bull run, the market wasn't based on fundamentals. And I said, eventually the markets become a weighing machine and it'll come through. And that's fortunately beginning to happen right now. And all the attention is now seeing what we saw years ago, which is awesome. Again, we've gone through a horrible period, but that's just how markets work sometimes. In addition, let's look at another factor too. This is Solana as a percentage of ETH market cap. And you can see it's still only at 5%. So we have a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how it was actually a lot less not too long ago. And it's going up the chain a lot, but still, that's important to look at. And let's go back to the Solana upside model as well. Free to everybody. Is the next target $52? Yes. So on this chart, you can see we have the 200-day moving average, and then we have the no, I can't remember which one's which right now. Yes, the teal line is the Cardano market cap. The purple line is 6% of ETH market cap. It's smashed through both of those over the last couple of months and weeks. And the yellow line is my next target, which is at $52, which is making up 10% of ETH market cap. Again, it's moving very fast and the trajectory is climbing quickly because eventually things, become a weighing machine. The market becomes a weighing machine. Let's look at some other fundamentals as well. Again, this is from the Crypto Compendium, and you can see here how certain things compare. Nakamoto coefficient, Ethereum is 25, Solana is 30, so that's better. Block time, 12 seconds for Ethereum is 0 seconds for Solana. That's faster, and that matters. Finality, 384 seconds versus 2 seconds for Solana. Max TPS, 45, and that's gone up, by the way. It used to be 15 for ETH, now it's 45. Versus Solana, 710,000. And now it'll be infinite once Firedancer goes live sometime in 2024. That will be, by the way, that will be a bonkers time in the markets when that happens. We just have to be patient. We have to wait another 6-8 months or so. In addition, daily transactions, 1.094 million for Ethereum, 17.78 for Solana. And daily active users, 327,000. This is where Ethereum wins. They have more active users today. That's about 290,000 currently for Solana. But again, adoption is growing, especially now after all of this media. Daily transactions for daily active users. The average user on Ethereum does 3 transactions a day versus 61 for Solana. And then fees, nearly $5 for a transaction on Ethereum versus 1/100 of a penny or something tiny on Solana. But if you pay priority fees, it's a little bit more, but still it's 0.004 cents. And developers, Ethereum wins there again, about 1,800 versus 369 for Solana. But we can even see a lot of the developers right now are in Amsterdam as we speak. So let's look at another model that we have. I'm a data guy, I'm a modeler guy, and this is the only channel where you got the same guy talking who's actually builds all these things with a big team behind him. So a big shout out to the team that makes all of this possible. We build these models so you guys can see where things are going in the future. And I'm proud to say the models work. Otherwise, I wasted a ton of money building them. So let's look at a new one that's coming right now. And this channel is all about data and analytics. This is the new ATR model. It's the augmented trading range. It'll be coming out real soon. I keep nudging the developers, get it done. We've been working on it for a long time. But what's really interesting about this is you can dial it in and it'll show you not only the purple background there is the bear market. It will automatically detect bull and bear markets for different assets. If you're in equities, it'll do the same thing. Then you have your ranges and your support and resistance levels. And in addition, you'll have buy and sell signals, when to get in, when to get out, trends, and a back test. And per this model has an 88.89% win rate if you follow those little flags. So pretty cool. That's coming soon too. So that helps us understand. And I wish I had these models 2.5 years ago. Anyway, the rest is history. But now we do, and now we're prepared. In addition, Solana TVL is growing very fast, which is awesome. Look at all these percentages over the last month, day, hour, 7 day. And these are just the top 10 DeFi plays. Marinade Finance, Radium, JPool. In fact, Radium is popping today. MarginFi, Orca, Solend, Jito. They're all doing incredibly well. And Bitcoin's rally has ignited a DeFi surge with Solana leading the charge. DeFi is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. TVL was always weak because, well, all the stuff that happened, but it's coming back with a vengeance, which is also a good sign. Another view of Solana dominance too, compared to other cryptos. You can see we're still very early, still very small. Total amount of market cap of Solana is 1.45% of the total, whereas Bitcoin's at nearly at 54%, Ethereum 17.3%, etc. So we have a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. A little clicking noise with somebody liking the Sol Upside model, which has nearly 2,000 likes, which is very high for a trading view indicator. So I'm glad people are using it. And again, I'm going to look at some pair charts right now, just to give people perspective of where we're coming from. People still are holding on to other positions. So let me just get this ready, and I'm going to pop up a whole bunch of pair charts. Hopefully they will work. Yeah. And we'll just blitz through it. So let me, bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. Juggling. Let me see if this works. Yes. So here we are. I'm going to just go through a few little pair trades real quick and show you how they work. And let's go. Make sure we have as much screen as possible. So the first one we will look at is Solana over Cardano. We'll go year to date. We'll pull up the percentage. So Solana has beaten Cardano by 250% this year. Next one is Solana over Algorand. That is 552% this year. Oh my goodness. That is, yeah, if anybody, people are still clinging to hope at Algorand. But again, per our models, it was easy to detect that it was not going to go anywhere fast. This is Solana over Avalanche, 275%. As you know, you've heard me talk about Avalanche for a long time. And the rest is history. Sol over Bitcoin, 56%. Bitcoin's been doing really, really well. But there's an asset that's doing even better than Bitcoin. This is Sol over ETH, 105%. This is Sol over Hedera, 201%. Again, these are the amounts that Solana beats all these assets. I'm just pulling up all the pairs I have in my pair chart. This is Solana over Chainlink, up 106% year to date. There was a lot of people angry at me because I chose not to buy Chainlink. I have nothing against Chainlink. I just believe there's a faster horse. And that's it. And I've got very limited room in my stable. And I do own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Injective, and Render. And also, in full disclosure, for the first time in a long time, a few weeks ago, my Solana position exceeded my Ethereum position, which I thought would never happen. And that's good news. And Solana over Matic, 382%. So with that, everybody, you can see it is stunning how this thing has completely outstripped other assets out there in the marketplace. All right, so let's wrap up a few other little kind of closing thoughts. A lot of people love my retire on Solana models. If you Google retire on now, you'll see hundreds of copies, but nothing has the modeling behind what we do or the price predictions and everything else. And yes, I heard things like my price predictions were crazy and insane. It's never going to happen. But after seeing moves like we've seen in crypto, and if things fall into place and go according to plan, things can actually happen. Let me give you a case in point. I did this in May 2023. And if you had filled your retire on Solana bag at the time, you could have bought 515 tokens for $4,120, which will give you a position that could be worth $700,000 in the year 2032. But with the way things are going, and by the way, this is based on my price prediction of $1,360 average in the year 2032. If we look at my low case, it's $644. Looks like we're going to get there pretty quick. My expected case is about $1,200, and my bull case is $2,148, and VanEck is $3,200. So, and theirs is coming in 2030. But the point is, you can allocate, and the reason I make these videos is so you can plan, you can build a bag. But even just allocating, say, $4,000 during the bear market, that can become a life-changing position. And that's why I say get in early, get in hard. It's so, so important. VanEck, again, quick reminder. I did a video on this on Saturday. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner the $3,211 price target for 2030. Again, it is their bull case. It assumes it takes off. But if, backing that up, if Firedancer works, there's a beta version of it running right now as we speak, and it will explode throughput. This data throughput is a 10x step change from what Solana can do today, which is already does more transactions than all other chains combined. This will become that whole black hole I've been talking about to you, bending your ear off for years. This is big, very big, and I can't underestimate it. So quick conclusion, everybody. We know the conference is on. We know things are pumping. We know nothing goes straight up. That's why we have models like DCAS, etc. It takes advantage of retracements and then purchasing. But there's a couple of things we can say about Solana. And here, first of all, yes, there was a lot of 2022 distress. There was a lot of bad actors in the space. FTX collapse gave it one hell of a kick in the nuts, no doubt about that. And that was all a problem. But this thing has come out better and stronger than ever before. And people rightly said, if you can survive such a poop storm, you know, that's how metal is forged. And that's what Solana is today. The fundamental value proposition, as far as I'm concerned, has persisted. It hasn't changed in nearly 3 years. It's a blockchain optimized for high throughput, as we just showed right here. Insane throughput, okay? This is megabytes per second, which would be nuts. Per one tile, not hundreds of tiles, one tile. And it represents the number one legitimate threat to ETH. That's how I searched for it in the first place, because I was looking for that ETH killer. And the fundamentals are second to none. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for having faith. And I want to wish you all a great day. Thank you to the mods in the chat too. And nearly 3,500 people looking. So people are excited. And thank you again, TND, Tesla, and KH for keeping us all safe from scammers and toxicity. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.